Hey, good morning, you guys. We are at the hospital where we're going to do the 24-hour EEG. We dropped off the carpool kids at school and then drove down here. We made pretty good time. I'm surprised it takes about an hour to get to our hospital, but I have a little bit of extra time before we go in, so I thought I would just let you guys know we're here, and I'll show you how do I flip this around. Here we go. Oh, I guess I can't. Here. Okay, I'll show you. He is tired. I did sleep deprive him. They did not give me specifics for this 24-hour EEG. When we do the hour-long one, they usually tell me, like, sleep deprived or not sleep deprived, but for this they weren't specific. And so after I talked to Liz, you guys can see that previous video, I went ahead and decided to sleep deprive him. So he was up till like 2:30 this morning and slept till 8, and now he is really tired and drowsy. He hasn't slept, but he is just kind of relaxing with his eyes closed. And yeah, so we're gonna go in, we're gonna get settled, and then I'll come back and let you guys see our room. Hopefully, if they're okay with that, we'll show you what his wires look like and everything. So I'll be back soon. Oops. Okay, so we are in the waiting room. They're getting us a bed ready, so we're just hanging out here. They said like 10-15 minutes. We got to meet another mom who's going in for the same thing, 24-hour EEG. She has a little guy. Anyway, we'll see you again as soon as we get to our room. And there's my guy. He's just resting, relaxing his tired body. Okay, so he is playing Switch and eating lunch. He's having a great time because lots of food. He can order whatever he wants and he loves it. He's an eater, so it's been pretty enjoyable so far. We did get all hooked up. It took about 2 hours from the time we got in till the time they had him all hooked up and ready to go. And I see someone coming in, so I'm gonna go. So, what? What?
Why are you doing another one?
Because I didn't show him your little backpack, your nifty little pack that he carries around. And then we have neighbors. And our big machine with the camera on it. He has a TV. They did have Xbox games, but he didn't bring an Xbox, so they said just to do what you would normally do, like as much as you can. And we're just waiting to see if anything happens. So now we're just waiting for the COVID test. They're going to test us both for COVID. If we're clear, then they'll do the blowing EEG, and that's where we normally see a lot of activity. So we're, I'm kind of nervous about that part. How do you feel?
About the blowing one?
Yeah.
I just want to do it.
Yeah, we don't really like the blowing part, but it will be good because it'll tell us if his meds are working or how well they're working. Hot chocolate for the EEG man. Here you go. Special delivery from the cafeteria. So nice. Our nurse ordered it for him. So I was going to update. His head is getting a little bit itchy. He just scratched and was like, oh no, I touched it. But he didn't move any of the electrodes, so I think that's okay. The internet here is really spotty. So like I was trying to make a phone call on my cell phone and it was not going through very well. And then he brought homework on his laptop and we can't, like the internet is so slow that we can't even load anything. So that's kind of a bummer. We're going to be a little bit behind in school. We're also asking for a note though from the hospital saying he was admitted today and tomorrow. So we'll give that to the school so they have just proof, you know, paperwork proof that he was here and had a reason for not being at school. You can see his the wires out the back there. Hey, little boy, wave your arm.
Wave it?
Yeah, so we can see the difference. So this was his normal brain scan until he started movement, and then it goes and moves. So I have no idea what any of that, you know, what that means, but that's what you will see. So when you get an EEG, like you have these, and you have your backpack. So those leads will go into the backpack, and then it's connected also to that camera. And there's a video camera on him, and then we have the button that we push that Liz had talked about on our video before. And then on that TV screen, you can see that's the brain waves, and it's showing like those leads are picking up his brain waves. And then if he moves, so I told him to move his arm, so he moved his arm, and then the brain waves increase. So it's pretty interesting. I wish I could read it myself because it's just fascinating. And even having him talk about things, like you can see the movement changes. It's really, really fascinating. Anyway, so far, everything's going fine. He hasn't had any seizures. I think I might have already said he's going to be getting the pinwheel where you blow, and he typically will react and have some seizure activity with that. So that will be our next thing. Otherwise, we are just still hanging out in here. He's watching TV, playing his game. Yeah, so that's it so far. So I am on my way to the Ronald McDonald House. Gonna get myself some dinner. Then I'll go sit with my son, and hopefully his food will be coming. We ordered his meal kind of late, so we'll see. Hopefully we'll be able to eat together. Okay, I got my soup and my sandwich. Going back to the room. It's kind of weird. You have to do a QR code on your phone, scan it, and then you can put in like the number of meals you need. So I just put in one, and they had everything outside, I think because of COVID, like lined up ready for you to just take. So got my food, going back to the room. I saw people walking with these cups, and I totally thought it was like decaf coffee or something with dinner. No, it's like broccoli soup. Actually, I think it's broccoli, chicken, cheese, vegetable, like everything soup, but it's actually pretty good. I'm going to get late, so I think we're probably not going to get the pin. I'm sorry, guys, it's really dark. Probably not going to get the pinwheel until tomorrow for the blowing. Justice is getting some Tylenol right now, and he got this great Band-Aid for some blood work. Just, they're going to test and see how much Depakote he has in his system. Our nurse was super nice. The Tylenol pills were kind of big, so it would have taken a while to get the doctor to write a new note for like chewable or drinkable Tylenol. So the nurse crushed it up for him and gave him some vanilla pudding, so he got to mix it in that and take the Tylenol that way. It was really nice of her to do that. So we're glad he got to take it. It tasted bad though. He's making a vomit sign. He's like, oh, not delicious. Pudding with Tylenol, guys. Not the most tasty, but a really nice way to get it down if you gotta do it that way. Good morning. So it's the next day. I put my sweater back on because it's cold. It was kind of cold last night. This was not the most comfortable couch bed pull-out thing, but I didn't expect it to be, so it was kind of an uncomfortable night. My son woke up a lot. He had a couple like chest monitors. I think it was to see his heart rate throughout the night in case he had a seizure. And then he had a pulse monitor on his toe, but it ended up like beeping, and so she, like several times, so she came in and put it on his finger instead, and then it still like beeped a lot. So the nurse had to come in several times throughout the night, and so he's really, really tired now. Didn't get a very good night's sleep. He was cold. He was only allowed to have the blanket like on his waist. I'll show you with this towel. So the blanket goes like that on you. Kind of, I mean, basically it goes from like your knees to like here. So he could have it like on his knees up to like his chest, because the doctors want to see if your legs and if you have a seizure, they want to know because they see your legs and your arms moving. And if you have a blanket on, they can't see it. So that made him also uncomfortable and cold. So in the middle of the night, I went and got him. I asked the nurse for socks. So I think someone's here, so I'll be right back. So they just came in the EEG test and they got our monitor stuff. They're gonna go download everything they saw over the night and then bring the machines back and get them hooked up for this morning. Okay, they just did the blowing EEG and now I am headed to get breakfast. I'm gonna get breakfast for me and for my neighbor sharing the room with me since she can't leave her room because her son's too little, so I'm just gonna grab breakfast for her too. And blowing EEG went good. No reaction, no seizures at all. It didn't look like to me. So, oh, gotta go. Okay, so as I was saying, he did the blowing EEG. They had him do it on a paper towel instead of a pinwheel this time, but no reaction. I didn't see any seizures. So I don't know what the EEG will show, if he had like some tiny ones or not. He did feel weird after, like a headache and like tingly fingers and feet, which is normal. Anyway, we'll see what the EEG says. It was really good, so I think maybe his medication's working really well because he had no reaction that I could see. It was much different than when he did the blowing EEG before without the medication. So, my son got unhooked. He's got all of his probes off and he fell asleep. He's really, really tired from yesterday, like last night. And let's see if I can show you. He's just asleep. Well, I don't know. He doesn't want to be on camera very much, but I'll blur his face. So, you just see he's taking a nap. Really tired. It was a long night. I think I already told you guys about that. Anyway, so we're almost done. We're just waiting now for the neurologist to come and talk to us and let us know what they saw. Okay, we are all done and we are heading out. He's still really tired. I'll give you the results in a minute when I get to the car, but yeah, it went pretty well and we are done for now. Okay, back in the car. Sorry, it's kind of dark in here. So everything went great. The neurologist said they did not see any seizure activity. There was like 2 spikes, but they were really short. They were like 1 and 2 seconds, which is kind of what I've been thinking I've been seeing at home. But she said there were so few. Oh, the lights went out. That she doesn't think that's what it is. Turn on. Oh, there we go. She didn't really think that he's having that many at home, or maybe none at home. I don't know. So they're going to, well, they're going to check his thyroid just to see if that has something to do with why he's so tired all the time. And then they checked his,
What's that?
What's what?
Thyroid.
Oh, your thyroid. It's just a part of your body that they have to make sure is working correctly. It should be. Your thyroid should be fine. I don't know. I'd have to like research it because I'm not a thyroid expert. So they're going to check his thyroid levels, make sure those are good. And then they said his medication levels are good. They're in the high normal range, so it shouldn't be causing his like excessive tiredness in the morning when he gets up. And then we might be able to...
I think I still have at nighttime.
Well, they didn't spot any, really. I mean,
But
the EEG looked so good that she was like, does this kid really have epilepsy? And she went back and looked at your old seizure and was like, oh yeah, there's like a ton of activity in his original EEG. And so she was like, oh yeah, he definitely does. So it just proved the medication's working really well.
Yeah, but I think I really am having a ton right now.
How come?
It's because of the feeling I get before I fall asleep. One doctor told us that was a sign that I was having one night.
That can also be normal though. He's talking about the like, you know, when you fall asleep and like you might jerk a little bit, that can be a sign of epilepsy, but it can also be normal because a lot of people have that. So she actually talked about that in the EEG because I had pushed the button when that was happening, and she said that at that moment in time you didn't have any spikes. So it wasn't a seizure when you were falling asleep today and had the jerking reaction. So they were talking about possibly looking into different, same medication, same dosage, but it would release in the body a little differently, and then maybe if that's what's causing him to have trouble to wake up in the morning, that could help possibly. So that's where we're at, and it was great having you guys with us. It was really fun vlogging with you guys and for you guys, and I hope this really helps some of you moms out there to know what to expect and what will happen when you are going to a 24-hour EEG. Don't forget, your story's not over, your story's just begun.